Now today we will start with the sections and breaks. What is a section? Section divide the data inside tables into groups based on the dimension on which section is created. So if we have a table having state, year, quantity sold, margin per unit, if you want to see the data per state, instead of having that state in the has a one column in the table, what we can do is we can apply section on that particular column, or in this case it is state, so that the data is displayed as per that state. If you see, the section header will be here, California. So for that California, this is the data for this year. This is the quantity sold. This is the margin per unit. And we can also add one more table here, and we can one more chart here, so that per section we can see the data. It is like a group by. So this all data is grouped for the California state. This is for Colorado. So similar in this way we can create sections to segregate into groups based on some dimensions which we create for section. A section consists of section cell and section itself. So this table, if you see here, there is a one blue rectangle here. So this total is called a one section, one part. So this is a total section, and the section cell is like here California is highlighted and it is mentioned as section cell. So section cell means here we can put anything. Here just it is a state name. If you want to add any formula also, here we can mention that. So that is a section cell. A section can contain one or multiple tables. Here in this section, this is the section cell California, and this rectangle is total rectangle is a section area. In this section area, we have two blocks. One is a table and other is a chart. So a section can contain one or multiple tables, charts, or forms. The tables, charts, and forms on section only contain data that corresponds to the value in the section cell. So here we have one table and one chart. It only contains the data for the section cell value. Here California is there, right? So it is only representing the data for California. This below section, it is representing the data for Colorado. So we can segregate the data based on some particular dimension by creating a section like this. So to create sections, we can create in two ways. One of the option is from the toolbar, we have a report elements there. We can click on report element tool and set as a section. We can select a column from the table and click on report element tool, set as section. Or we can directly right click on a dimension column. Here we will be having a state also as one of the column. There we will right click on that column, and we will in a table block and click on set as a section. We will set like on this dimension, on this object, we want to set as section. Here we also have a subsection. Here state and city are created as section, so that California is a section. Under that subsection is a Los Angeles. So for California, we have more cities like Los Angeles, San Francisco. So under country, maybe these are states. So these are like subsections. Until we get all the states, California will be the main section, and these are the subsections. Once all these subsections got completed, we will have one more country, maybe New York or some. So based on that, the subsections are the states from that country will be displayed after displaying New York and all. So it is about sections. In addition to sections, we also have one more option to segregate the report, that is called as a break. So it also similar to section, but here it is not showing in outside of the report. Instead, it is showing in the inside of the report only, but it is like pivoting, like in Excel there will be pivoting tables, right? So that kind of look will be there. Like for if we create break on a state here, whatever it is, these three rows are related to California. If you have 10 rows also, only the first row will be displayed the name and all other are displayed as a blank. And here what we can create sum as per the break, so that if we create sum per each break, it will display the total sales revenue for California here for quantities also. A break is a logical division in a table in which data is grouped according to a selected value into self-contained. That means self-contained means it is there in the table itself. It is not appearing in the outside as a section. So these parts are represented as small tables. So one big table is again splitted into multiple small tables. We can assume like that. Breaks automatically removes the repeating values. If you see California, it should appear as a California in the second row and third row also. But breaks, what they do is it will automatically remove the repeating values and display data as a group. So this is all related to California and this is all related to group. This total state is a break. We have created a break on state here. And we have inserted subtotals. So break section, we don't use break also supports sub breaks. Break has two main advantages. You can more efficiently organize your data for presentation and you can display subtotals. So instead of displaying California for 10 rows and changing the years and sales revenue, if we have 10 years, everywhere California, California, California for 10 rows, it is not required. So for that purpose, if we create a break on the repeated value, the repeated value gets removed, and we will see only non-repeated values, and it will be like a small table, multiple small tables we can say, and we can also include subtotals if we use breaks. More or less sections and breaks are similar, but the way of representation and the purpose where we use is different. Working with cross tabs, as we already discussed, cross tab displays values for dimensions across the top axis and on the left axis. So we have dimensions in left axis and top axis, and we have a data in the body here. So this is the representation is called as a cross tab. The body displays the values of a measure that corresponded to the cross section of the dimension. So if you see here one times 100. Here's some number is there, right? 1704211. This number, it is representing to these two cross sections. Like it is not just for California data. It is California data for 2004 year. So this kind of representation is possible using cross tabs. To create a cross tab, we need to have minimum 2 dimension objects and minimum one measure objects. It is a minimum. If we have a multiple measures, if we have a multiple objects, we can add. But minimum we need 2 dimensions and one measure to create a cross tab. Select the column which has to be put on the top axis of the cross tab. Drag it near the head of the table and drop the column. This is like I will tell you like how we can create a cross tab. Instead of doing this, we can right click on the cross tab layout and we can assign data like what should be the row, what should be the column, and what should be the body. Cross tab report does not display column headings. Like here, yes, that is correct. It automatically does not represent a column headings. Like we have in the body, we have some values which are in numerical, but we don't know whether it is a sales revenue or profit or anything. So it will not by default display column headings. It will only display dimensions in the left axis and the top axis. And we have a one more great feature in Web Intelligence, that is a rule like conditional formatting. So conditional formatting enables us to highlight results or change formatting based on data. We can apply conditional formatting to the following elements. It's like a highlight results means we can create some alerts, some rules to show or highlight the data which are passing our definition. Like we can say like if sales revenue is more than 1 lakh, show that in green color. If it is less than 20,000, show that in red color. So we can create rules like that, and we can apply on the table or on the dimension and the objects which we need to apply this for conditional formatting. We can apply that, so that based on the values, the highlighting, the colors will change, which will immediately attract the user's attention, and they'll immediately know, instead of checking each row manually. By the color coding itself, they will understand where to focus on and which is performing better, which is performing not better, so that they can take the decisions from there, and from by doing that analysis. We can apply conditional formatting to following elements like columns in a vertical table. We can apply conditional formatting to columns in a vertical table, rows in a horizontal table, cells in forms and cross tables, section headers, freestanding cells. So we can apply our formulas and other rules anywhere in these elements. You can define conditional formatting rules to activate the following formatting changes. We can create the rules to activate the text color, size and style, or cell border colors and style, or cell background display like specific colors, images, or hyperlinks to web page. We can put we can put some emojis also if required. If we can import some images of emojis like smiley. If it is a good, we can put smiley. If it is not good, we can put sad symbol. Those kind of things are also we can insert as part of this conditional formatting. Sorting, it is same as the Excel. We can apply sorts to the values displayed in tables, sections, and charts to organize the order in which values are displayed in a report. So to organize the values, we can apply sorts by ascending order or by descending order or by custom order. If we want to assign some manual sort, then we can create a custom sort. Enhanced copy paste is like we have already covered, like we can right click on the table and we can copy and we can paste in another tab. If you see here, this is in report 1 of 1, means second tab of the report. If you want this particular block into the report 1, like first tab, what we can do is we can just drag and drop, or we can right click and copy that and control C, and we can here go to report 1 tab, and we can control V to paste the same table in that. Show or hide feature is also there. Like if we want to hide some objects based on certain criteria, we can hide. Like these are the things: hide when empty. If it is empty, we can hide. Or we can hide when, means we can write some formula. If it is matching with that formula, we can hide. So this is the summary of the third module that we have covered the day before yesterday and today. These are the topics that we have covered, like various block types, to understand the panels which are there in Launchpad, how we can add tables into reports, what are the available formatting options for tables and cells, how we can set up page layout for tables, header and footer, how we can add images as logos, how we can create formulas and variables, what is the difference between section and breaks, how we can create a cross-tab report, how we can set a rule like for conditional formatting, and how can we sort, how we can do that extended copy paste functionality and show hide feature. These are all the topics that we have covered under this module. So today let's do the lab activity 3. So this is about formatting breaks. First we will do this activity. Here they are mentioning like create a query using eFashion Universe. I just created a simple report for year, store name, sales, revenue, and query filter I have applied on year, and it will ask us to enter values. So I told you like we can view the backend for every report. There will be a backend SQL getting generated automatically by the tool. So if we want to see this is the option, view SQL will be there. This is the script that is getting automatically generated. If you see here, select aggregate year quantity. This is the table name until MA dot year. So because we took year, this is the corresponding object from the database. From this table, YR is a year which we have created in our universe layer. We have created the formula for the year. This is the formula which we have created in the universe layer. So this is the backend SQL. Select year, and for store name, this is the corresponding field. From this table, dot store name is a object name, and sales revenue is sum of aggregate the table dot sales revenue. So select these objects from this table. This is the table. So select the required objects from this table where we are using some condition. Why? Because there is a filter. If you don't have any filter, we don't have this where and group by. But as we are using filter, where this year in means in list. In list, I have given these values 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18, where the year in condition grouped by year and store name. So this is the backend SQL that gets generated. So if for every report using universe or using relational database, we can check the backend SQL like this. And if there is any data issue happening sometimes, what we can do is this: we can copy this code and we can execute this code from the database side, and we can see if we are getting the same data from our database side also. If we are getting the database side also the same data, then the data issue is not from our reporting layer, it is from database layer. So that corresponding team needs to look after that. So I just wanted to show you this option like show SQL. So it is very much useful whenever we are analyzing some issues. We need this and we have to handle this code in database layers and all. So it is about one report. Now let me try to create a new report. So now let's start with our activity. Create a query using eFashion Universe showing lines, category, SKU description, sold at unit price and discount. We have to add these kind of objects there. They mention lines, SKU description. I think they also mention category. Lines, category, SKU description, sold at unit price and discount. This is the object that we need. Sold at a unit price. I have double clicked so that it is getting automatically. And discount is there in the measures. So these are the objects required. And let's see if. So we have to add these objects in the result objects. That is done. Second point is build a query filter to display values only for the lines, outerwear and overcoats. So we have to create a query filter for the lines object. So lines we will drag in the query filter and we will give in list, select values from list. So overcoats and outerwears, I think they have mentioned these two. Yes, outerwear and overcoats. Run the query. Okay, we took the required objects, applied the required query filter. Now we will run the query. Okay, this is the table that automatically got display. So after running the query, apply a break on the lines and category columns. Apply a sum on the sold unit price and on average on the discount column. Okay. As we already discussed, we can create breaks or sections. For that, what they have mentioned to breaks on the lines and category, both columns, we have to apply breaks. So first, sorry, control Z, something happened. Okay, first we will apply. I'm just dragging it here. I'm moving the columns because we need to apply breaks on lines and category. So first we will apply break on lines. So for that, what we can do is we can select the column which we want to apply break on, and we can go to report elements, and no, report element is for section. For break, we have to go to analysis. After that, break is there here, add break. So it automatically added the break. Here also they want to add the break. So we can click like this, or also we can right click on this and insert break will be the break, add break. So we have applied break on lines and category. After applying breaks, apply a sum on the sold at unit price column and an average on the discount column. Sum on the sold at unit price. So sold at unit price, this sold at unit price is one of the key figure. We can insert and sum, analysis, functions, sum. Actually, when we are creating break itself, the sum is automatically got displayed. So that is okay, it's not required otherwise. But here also sum is displayed, but what they want is an average. So insert functions. Here we will put the average. So average of these two is 55 minus 55,151. So that is displayed. If we want, we can delete this column. It will ask whether you want to delete the row or column. We will take out this row because it is getting displayed multiple times, and we don't want this sum on the discount, so we can remove this row. If you see here, we have applied sum on the sold at unit price and average on the discount price, and we applied break on lines and category. So here outerwear, this lines is all related to outerwear. So this is the total sum. Under outerwear, this is a sub break. Daywear, hats, gloves, and nightwear. These three are part of outerwear. And overcoats, drywear and wetwear. These two are parts of overcoats. So in this way, we can apply breaks and additional sub breaks also. On the break for the lines and columns, set the option. Lines column, the breaker header shows. We have options also. The breaker footer does not show. The line value centers across other values in the table. So for the lines column break, we can set these options. Breaker header should be visible. Breaker footer should not be visible. So lines column, we already applied break. So if you go to this break, it will ask us option of manage breaks. So click on manage breaks. We want to show the header, but we don't want to show this footer. And what else they ask? The line values centers across the other values in the table. Maybe displays first. So if we put and if we apply, see here, we have a header, but we don't have any footer. So we don't have multiple unnecessary rows. So that part is done. And let's see what is the 7th point. We have set the options for the lines column break. Now we can set the options for the category column. Breaker header does not show, breaker footer does not show, category value centers across the other values in the table. So for that, we have to click on the column, right click, manage breaks. We don't want header, we don't want footer. And
You said that with the cross tabs, it doesn't show subheadings. So can we use breaks in the cross tabs?
for the cross tab, we can insert one column or insert one row, and there we can mention what is that key figure where it is responsible. I'll show you if you want.
Oh, okay. Okay. Let's go ahead. You go ahead with this one.
Yeah.
Thank you.
For that, it is not required. If you want to group by and if you want to apply this subtotals and all, then in that situation it is required. Otherwise, it is breaks are not required. Just to show that we can always insert rows and we can add the object names there. So our visualization should be like this. Let's see, are we getting the same or not? Right, where manage breaks. Okay, across means this merge option, I guess. Apply, yeah. Here, if okay, if you see here, we can see this day where is there in the first row, but not in the second row. But it is also part of day where, but we might get confused. So for that, what we can do is right click, will break, manage breaks. Instead of displaying it in the first, if we merge it, it will be appear in the center, so that we will know it is belongs to that driver blazers. 1 second. And now we can understand like these two are part of dryware, these three are part of wetware. So we are instead of showing in first, we are merging so that it is appearing across that. So are we getting the right kind of representation same as here? Let us see. 1656 is correct. So they did not have that sum and the. So we can remove if you want. If you don't want to show this sum. So they are only displaying in the one row. So we can avoid this because this is showing total sum, but we don't want sum for this particular discount column. We don't want sum. Instead, we want average 31. So we only need these two, but we don't want this. So for that, we can click on one thing, delete. It will ask whether it is row or column. We want to remove this row. So row. Now sum is there, average is here. If we want to show this in the same here itself, instead of having multiple rows, what we can do is we can copy this formula, Control C. We can put it here, Control V. We can click it here. So we can avoid this one also. Delete row. So this is gone. We don't want this. It is not sum. It is for this column it is sum, and for this it is average. So we don't want to show it as a sum. So for this we can remove it and validate it. It will say okay. So we have removed that sum. So now let's compare with the output from there. Except this blue background, everything is data wise it is correct. So that blue background also we can set up. Just click on control and select this multiple cells and format cell and appearance. This is a background color, right? So we will put some blue color. And the content should be in white so that it is visible. So go to font. In the font color, instead of black, put as white. Apply. And see, okay. So now it is a different kind of blue. we will be getting a color code also, so that we can apply. But it is the same as the activity that we got in this. So now we can name this report as a formatting breaks. So save as we are creating reports in our web intelligence rich client, we can save as a local file, or we can save to enterprise. So it is better to save to enterprise under our personal folders. So it is showing like my favorites are public folders. So I am selecting my folder and I will say, give the name formatting breaks. Activity. We have named this report and we will save. It's done. So our report is ready. We have applied breaks. We applied the properties inside the breaks. We use those properties options, and we have formatted also with the color coding all. So it's a kind of a proper report where we have grouped the objects lines using some, group the required dimension, so that instead of getting repeated everywhere for all the rows, it is very clear, like we have two types of lines, outerwear and overcoats. Under that also we have for outerwear we have three categories: day wear, hats, gloves, scarves, nightwear. For overcoats we have dry wear, wet wear categories. So under each day category, what are all the description, what are all the items that are available, and what is the value of those items, and what is the sum of that sold price, and what is the discount, and what is the average discount that we are getting for these things. So around 31,021 is the average discount. So this is a simple report where we have used breaks and we applied all the options and formatting. So we are done with this particular activity. Let's go to other activity. How many activities are there? Cross tab report, sections in report. 6. Okay. Based on the time constraint, yeah, we can go ahead. It's okay. But if there are anything pending activities, you can also do, as it is a clearly mentioned as a step-by-step process. I'll be giving this document once I finish this training, so that you can try from your side also. Once I finish this basic PPT or web intelligence basic concepts, I'll share the PPT with you and the lab activities with you. I think you will be getting the access by tomorrow or day after tomorrow. Then you can start practicing. If there is any issue from the server side to work on Webby reports, please use this web intelligence rich client. Then you can easily work on all these options. It is working fine as of now. So let's go to
Thank you.
So for this, what we want is we need to create a new document showing quantity sold by state and line. So the dimensions required are state and line, and the measure is quantity sold. So go here, create a new report. Same universe which we think we can connect from this. Yeah, we got it automatically. What we want is let's see, quantity sold by state and line. So we need state, we need line, and quantity sold. These three objects we need. So they did not apply any filters. They did not mention any query filters. So let's just run the report with these objects. By default, it is showing in a table format. But this exercise is for cross tab, how we can create a cross tab. So what we can do is we can delete the report, add crosstab template from template menu. We can follow this, or we can also do like turn this into crosstab. Right click, turn into crosstab. Here it is giving left object as a, what is that, a line. Here it is different. Here it should be state. So for that, what we can do is when we turn into crosstab, it will automatically creates by itself. It doesn't know like where to put as a row header, where to put as a column header. So for that purpose, after turning into crosstab, we can click on assign data. So horizontal axis should be lines, but it is here, it is state. So select lines as a horizontal object. If you click on this, state as a vertical axis, and body is a measure. We only have quantity sold, that is okay. So it is changed as per our requirement. This is a crosstab. We can apply block level filter for line, accessories, city skirts, city trousers, dresses, jackets, and leather. Just want to show you like these are so many are there, right? We can, if we want only, if we want to concentrate on particular line items, what we can do is analysis, filter, add filter, crosstab. On this crosstab only we want to add, so that is selected. Line items, there we will take some 5 objects and click on OK. Just for our, to use all the options, we are covering this activity. So we have selected required objects 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do we have 4 line items? 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we missed one. Accessory, city skirts, city trousers, dresses, jackets, and leather we have missed. So again, go to, if you want to edit the filter, click on the filter, edit filter. Leather we don't have. We will add that leather also, apply. So we have required objects from the filter. The block level filter we have applied. Now we want to show sum of quantity sold in table. So if we want to show that, let's see, functions. We have to select some key figure or measure before we want to apply some function. So I have selected on this and apply sum. Where do you want to display? At the end of the column or at the end of the row, means in the right side, or in both directions. Here we want at the end of the row. So sum is getting displayed here. So we are done with this. We have created a crosstab, we applied block level filter, and we also applied sum for this key figure. As we discussed, let me show you. We don't know whether it is a sales revenue or not, whether it can be a quantity sold or, sorry, here it is a quantity sold, but we might get confused by, as it is not mentioning any name. As I told you, by default, it will not display. So for that purpose, right click on this, insert row below, and you can name this name of this object. It is a quantity sold. For our understanding purpose, we can put quantity sold. I written. Click on validate. See here. I told you, right? We can just insert and we can manually enter the value so that we'll know this is a quantity sold. We can keep.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. That's what I was.
Yeah, I understood. Yeah, this is the thing that we, if we want to add, if we want to avoid any confusion, we can add this. Otherwise, it is okay. If we name the report in a correct manner also, it is not required. If you see, They did not mention, like they just mentioned activity cross tab. But if we named like quantity sold analysis, then the people might understand. If we name the report as quantity sold analysis, we might not require to add this object, but let us keep like this. And we will say, otherwise we will put this here, report name. Report name is different from document name. So quantity sold analysis. So the report name got changed. Instead of report one, it is mentioning what is the analysis on this. And now we can remove this row if we want. If we feel like it is looking odd, we can remove this. Where is that? Delete, remove row. So we know, as it is already mentioned, quantity store, quantity sold. So we don't need to mention, mention explicitly. Now we can save this activity as save to enterprise under my folder, activity cross tab. This is the second activity. Let's do one more activity before we wind up the session for today. Okay, third one is enhancing the presentation of the report. So what we need is quantity sold by state, year, quarter. Create a new report. The same universe, you can cancel it here and you can select this one. The same which we have used previously. Year, what was that? Quantity sold by state, year and quarter. Okay. Year, quarter, date, quantity sold. I'm just double clicking, so it's getting added to the result objects. We will run the query. By default, it shows the data like this. If you see here, this is the page one of 1+. So we can, if we click on this, we can see how many pages are there, 2 pages. So it is normal table format. By default, we get like this. So what we can do is we can change this look to better present. So what we can do, apply break on state and year. Okay. State should be in the first place. So I'm just moving it. So state and year. Apply break. Right click, break, add break. And also on the year. Right click, break, add break. So that is done. Here it is showing Colorado. So, but for us it is showing in multiple times Colorado or California. Okay, we don't need this header always. And what we don't need is also the footer. So right click, break, manage breaks. Don't show footer. Apply. Break, manage breaks. Don't show footer. Apply. Yeah. And this California, we have to show it in the middle so that it applies to all. So for that break, manage breaks. Instead of display first, we can put merge. Okay. Here also break, manage breaks. Instead of displaying it first, we can merge. Let us see whether are we getting correct. Yeah. Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. Okay. Quantity sold. Okay. We are getting so many data, but here they mention like apply break on state and here add a sum and percentage to the quantity sold column. So quantity sold column, analysis, functions, sum, insert sum. Maybe in the down we will get. And again select this more percentage. So we have two, we got two. And what they are, it is they ask to format the block, filter the block to show only data for Colorado. So analysis, filter, add filter. Here also add filter, state, Colorado. Okay. Some percentage. So the same kind of appearance we are also getting here. Else. Year 2004, 5 and 6. I think we have more years here. 14, 15, 16. Let us see if we can, if we have data for those years or not. Analysis, filter, add one more filter. We will put filter on year and see if we have. We don't have. I think that is for other. That time their data was like that. That's why the years are showing like that. So it is okay. So this is done and quantity sold. We will put this as a percentage. The header, it is not mentioned anything. When we add the percentage, it is coming in the right side, but it is not showing the name. So for that, we can click on there and write the name, percentage. And we can put all these, we can format it. Appearance, background, color, font, white, general, font. We can keep that as a bold, or if we want to increase size, we can put that as a 10 size. So in this way, we have applied breaks, we have applied filters, we applied some functions, included sum and percentage functions, and we have done some formatting so that we have a nice presented way of a report. After that, we can format the block, create a duplicate of the table, copy paste to the right of existing table, and filter to show only New York. Okay, as I told you, there is a copy paste option there, is right. So instead of doing all these things, if you want to have for New York, again creating a table and doing all these breaks, what we can do is copy. If we want to paste and just align it here. And this block is representing for Colorado. Here we will change the filter value. Filter, right click filter, edit filter. So here instead of Colorado, we will put New York. Take out this Colorado. Okay. So this is the data for this is the table for New York. This is the table for Colorado. And save the document as activity presentation. So file, save to enterprise in my folder. Activity presentation. Save. Yeah, this is saved. So this way we can create breaks, we can copy paste the tables, we can format the tables, we can apply the filters, we can include some functions, aggregate functions like sum, percentage, average. So these are the topics that we have covered today.